Welcome aboard Spinning in Vegas to another Las Vegas hotel resort review here, guys. So as you can tell from the title here, this is going to be a full review of the Bellagio hotel, casino, resort, whatever you want to call it. Most of you know I did one on the D on Fremont Street a few weeks back, and that turned out real well. Some people said that it ran a tad too long. I'll try to keep this one shorter, but you know me, in my rambling on style, I probably will end up running this pretty long. But I like to go in detail and let you guys know what I thought about the property and give a good and honest review. If you're new to the channel, Spinning in Vegas, baby. We are everything Las Vegas, whether you want slot machine live plays, if you want reviews on restaurants, different hotels, casinos, Las Vegas, advice and tip videos, and just overall vlogs from Las Vegas, our channel offers it all. We are a family channel, so you will see a lot of me, my wife, my two children, even my mother, making appearances on the channel. And you know, we offer something different, but we still very much offer that Las Vegas theme. So go ahead and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you're already a subscriber, then you rock. You're doing it right. Okay, so guys, I've been gone for the last couple of weeks. You'll have noticed an absence. I did some editing. The last time I spent a lot of time home. I tried to edit as much as I could and tried to get my wife to upload the material every 4 days or whatever to try and stretch it out. I had meetings in Collingwood, Ontario. I don't know for any of you Canadians if you're familiar with Collingwood, Ontario. It's just a little bit northwest of Toronto. Beautiful resort area. And I had business meetings as well as traveling all over the Maritimes as a result of those business meetings. It was just very hectic. And again, tomorrow I'm back on the road. Just to give you an idea of how busy my life can get with my business and work and stuff like that. I do apologize. I'm glad I'm able to have a day here, finally a free day, and I'm doing this. So, you know, I'm very happy to be back and doing these videos. You guys know I really enjoy it, and but it's just a very busy time of year for me. Our meetings are always the same time of year, so it was expected. But anyway, enough of that. We'll just get right into the review here. So, the Bellagio. Guys, I have a rating system here, 1 being terrible, 2 meaning could use some improvement, 2.5 being average, 3 above average, 4 being great, and 5 being excellent. So those are the 5, well, actually there's 6 of them there, 6 different ratings, and I got 7 different categories in which I rated. I added a category. With the D I only had 6, I believe. This one I have 7. My rating on the D remains the same. I added this category to the D earlier, and the rating came out the same in the end, so we're all good there. So we'll just get right into it, guys, with our first category at the Bellagio, hotel accommodations. So guys, we're looking at what are the rooms like? And when I say rooms, we're looking at the base level rooms here, the ones that we were in. I know the Bellagio has nicer rooms, however they come at a greater cost. We're looking at renovations, the pool, you know, what is the room size, the value there, the beds, the internet access, the elevators, the entertainment, the ease of use, the ease of access on the resort. All of this stuff fits into the hotel accommodations category. And with that, I gave it a 3, being above average. Out of all the places that we visited in Vegas, I think Bellagio was the biggest letdown in terms of rooms. However, we weren't overly upset because we knew that the room was going to be a lower room. What we did was we took advantage of an email offer that was sent to us based on the little bit of play that we did at the casino on previous days. As most of you guys know, we always stayed at the Cosmo, but you know, from time to time, we take a skip across the road, go to Bellagio, run a few $100s through the machines, and that's how we got this offer sent to us. So we knew we were going to be in a base room, and let me tell you guys, these rooms are nothing to write home about. They haven't been renovated, and they look like the 80s style of, I don't want to say curating, but just the overall design reminds me of the 80s. It's extremely dated in my opinion, and I wasn't all that big on the rooms. The bathroom was nice, but the rooms themselves, at least the base model rooms, are really not that great. You will find much nicer rooms on the Strip and even on Fremont. Our room at the D was miles above the room at Bellagio. But anyway, there's a lot more here in this category that we can touch on. Renovations, again, in the room that we were in, the base model rooms, as far as I can tell, have not been renovated since they were built. And like I said, they look like the 80s style, which doesn't really make sense considering the resort was built in 1998. Why would they make an 80s themed resort in 1998 when there only would have been like a 10-year span there? It would be like building a hotel today and making it 2008 style. There's really not much of a difference there. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they would not want to renovate it, considering they are one of the more famous hotels in Las Vegas. The pool, wow, hey, fantastic pool at Bellagio. Can't complain with that. The kids and wife and I, we all had a ball in the pool area. If you happen to be getting a room in the backside of the Bellagio, like the room we had, you are going to get a view of the highway and the pool. That's on the western side. If you're on the eastern side, you're not going to get that view. But we got a view of the pool and the highway. The pool is a fantastic place, guys. I highly recommend the pool. Internet access. We never really had a problem with internet access, only late at night. So right before going to bed, right around midnight, I guess, you notice the internet was starting to a little bit slow, a little bit draggy, lagging. But again, at that time of night, you're not spending much time on the internet anyway, so it really wasn't all that much of an issue for us. Everywhere else on the resort, with the exception of the casino, the internet was horrible there. I'm not entirely sure why the internet access was horrible, but I'm pretty sure if I tried to go live from the Bellagio, I might have trouble. So I'm not entirely sure why that was. I only tried it at one access point though, and that was over by the mall, where the older slot machines are. That was the only place where I tried to really use the internet. So it might be different at different points of the casino. Elevators, no problems with the elevators. They have specific elevators for specific floors, which I think is great. It kind of lowers the amount of time that you spend on an elevator, which we can all appreciate in Vegas because there's so many people at these resorts. When you look at the elevators, let's say at Cosmopolitan, they have two different elevator sets that take you to two different varying levels of the resort, or you have this terrible system at the D where you put your floor number in before you even get on the elevator, and then it almost stops on every floor on the way to your destination. Completely terrible. Bellagio was good, and no problems there with the elevators. The entertainment on the property is good. There's no problems there. Ease of use, ease of access. I think that Bellagio might be a little bit too big for its own good in terms of the casino. You can get lost in there, no doubt. It's huge. The first time I was in the Bellagio casino, I did get lost. I was trying to find my way out, and it took me about 10 minutes. So you really need to know. Just look at what I do when I go to a casino that I'm not familiar with. Is I look at certain points of the casino and I remember them. So I'll look at a certain slot machine that really sticks out, or a certain restaurant, and I will remember that in terms of where I am. So if I'm right at the entrance and I look at a certain place and I say, okay, this restaurant here, I'm going to remember. And then when I'm on the other side of the casino and I take a few turns and then I'm all, disoriented, I'm going to look around and see if I can find that. And if I see it, then I'll know exactly where to go. And I recommend doing that. So with hotel accommodations, guys, I gave it a 3, which is above average. As like I said earlier, I think this was very, very fair. What stopped us from being more was obviously the renovations, the rooms being the way they are. It really brings the rating down. But again, everything else was fantastic. Number 2, second category, would be the casino. And it got a well-deserved 5 stars on the casino. Now, when I go to a casino, there's a few things I like. One is I don't like a brightly lit casino. For people like me who film, we like to kind of stay incognito and out of the limelight. So I obviously look at the lighting in a casino. I look for variety in slot machines. I like some of the older slot machines. I like a lot of the newer slot machines, obviously. But, I like variety. I like looking at slot machines that I haven't played before. I like learning about them. I like to try them. I like offering something new to the channel for the viewers instead of the same old thing over and over and over again. And Bellagio just really knocks it out of the ballpark with that one. Tons of variety there. Again, almost too big for its own good. You can get lost, which is a problem. However, I didn't take away any points for that, because if you spend an hour at this casino, you won't get lost. You'll know exactly where things are, and you will be absolutely fine. So it would not be fair to take points away because I'm not familiar with it, all right? Great design, well curated. Guys, this is a beautiful casino. I love the atmosphere. I love the colors. I really like what they did there. The vibe, it's almost like a romantic type of vibe. I remember the first time me and my wife were there, it was just an amazing feeling, guys. I would highly suggest checking out this casino and really taking in this Bellagio atmosphere. I think you owe it to yourself to go there and have a fantastic time at this wonderful casino. Drink servers in the casino it's hard to find one. It's hard for one to come to you. But if you're tipping and you tip, you know, $1 a drink, $2 a drink, they're going to come back fast. So that's really good. You know, sometimes I guess one could argue that it's hard to get a server to come to you at any property. But it's all about the tipping. If you do tip for your drink, they come back really fast at Bellagio. I had no problems ordering 2 drinks at a time. So great there. Also the comps at Bellagio fits into the casino category, and M Life is just fantastic for these comps. Yes, the comps are not going to be as good as other places in Vegas, but what I like about the Bellagio is it is part of M Life. So as you use your card at the Bellagio, you could redeem rewards at other properties like the MGM Grand, Aria, anything that's owned by M Life. You are one card for a variety, a dozen different properties, and that is always nice, as opposed to, let's say, a place like the Cosmopolitan, a standalone property where you only gain points at that one property, and if you go anywhere else, you're not getting any benefit. As with M Life, you are going, or sorry, as opposed to M Life, where you get benefits at other properties. You can rack up points on the same card playing at the New York, the Mirage, the MGM Grand, the Bellagio, Aria. You know, it's fantastic. So you can walk around all these places, try these different casinos, but not take a point or take a hit on the points. So it's really a fantastic system. I really think that M Life is one of the best, if not the best, types of systems there are in Vegas for comps. So I gave it, like I said, 5 stars on the casino, and well deserved. Dining. Dining's a big thing. You wake up in the morning, you want something to eat, you're hungry, breakfast, supper time comes around. You want a place that's not hard to find, that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and again, easy to find. You could stay at different properties in Vegas where finding food can be a chore, and if it's not a chore, then it can break the bank. So you want to make sure that you're at a property that can kind of, offer you all sorts of variety, at affordable prices. Now, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I do believe there are 22 establishments on the Bellagio property where you can eat. And some of those include the Bellagio Cafe. We really enjoy the Bellagio Cafe. It's a high-end restaurant at a very affordable price. And we had no complaints with the food, with the exception that me and my youngest son had gotten sick after eating the same meal. And, we brought this up with customer service. It was all taken care of, but, you have to note that. I do have to say that we did get sick after eating there, but the food was fantastic. It only happened that one time, even though we ate there various number of times, and we had no problem. So Bellagio Cafe was great. You got other restaurants there like Lago, Harvest, Jasmine, and Fountain View Dining. So this restaurant, you're right behind the fountains. You get a great view of the fountains, and you can eat there. And like I said, there's 22 different establishments. Everything from Starbucks to, if you want to have dessert after your supper, you can go over to Jean-Philippe Patisserie, where they have just an amazing variety of different sweets there. I highly recommend the crepes. We did eat at Jean-Philippe Patisserie, and guys, it will blow your mind. Get your asses to Jean-Philippe Patisserie and give yourself a treat. You will not regret it. Try the crepes. Amazing. I think there was one there, Nutella something. Can't really remember off the top of my head. It was fantastic. If you're a fan of sweets, go check that out. Anyway, I gave 5 stars on the dining because of the affordability, just the variety. If you want Asian style food, whether it's Chinese or Japanese, they all have that there. Bellagio Cafe will offer you an American cuisine. There's lots of variety at this property, and you're not going to regret dining on that property. Very well done there by Bellagio. 4th category, location. Guys, this is a solid 5. How can you not give the location of Bellagio anything but a 5? You are right in the heart of the Strip. You can't get any more center than the Bellagio. It is right there. If you want to walk to Mirage, walk to Mirage. Do you want to walk down to, let's say, New York, New York? Walk down to New York, New York. Yes, they are long treks. However, the Bellagio is in the center of everything, and you can pretty well get wherever you want. So you might save some money on Uber, Lyft, wherever your transportation means are. It's right in the heart. There's always people around, a great crowd, great vibe. I think that of all the places we've been in Vegas, the best location was obviously Bellagio. And of course, Cosmopolitan being right next door is, you know, kind of in that same area. But Bellagio just kills it with location, guys. You cannot beat it. If you've ever been to Vegas, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't been to Vegas, go to Google Maps, Google Earth, check out the bird's eye view, and you'll see for yourself that the Bellagio is right in the center of all the action. Can't beat it. 5 stars there. Number 5, quality of service. This almost got a 2. However, we were contacted after our stay, and we decided to give it a 3, which is above average. I so wish that these tiny little things never happen. But again, you have to note them in terms of a review. You can't push them aside. If it happened to us, it could happen to anybody else. And that's how I kind of approach these reviews. You know, I look at the maids, I look at the dealers, the bartenders, waitresses, drink servers, check-in staff, slot hosts, bellboy, and of course, customer service if any problems arise. So we have had no problems with the maids, any of the dealers, the bartender, the waitresses, the drink servers, all great in those regards. We never had any type of rude staff in regards to those right there. Check-in staff was, they were friendly, but when I had questions, I got the vibe that they were beating around the bush and telling me stuff that I wanted to hear, because I did have questions about the resort. And the reason I had questions is because of my next point, the slot host. Terrible. They got a terrible 1 on the slot host part. We had been in contact with the slot host weeks leading up to our visit, and even phone calls days before we got to the Bellagio. However, when we got to the Bellagio, we were supposed to meet at a specific time, and we never seen that slot host. They never contacted us once we got there. So of course, all my questions were then directed through the check-in staff and the concierge and stuff like that. And I always felt like they were beating around the bush and kind of telling me stuff that I wanted to hear just to shoo me away. And very unfortunate. We had an incident with the bellboy. Whenever you check into a hotel, if you have a lot of luggage, if you're coming in from we got to the Bellagio in a limo from the D, and our bags were checked by a bellboy. This bellboy asked for a tip. Now, I always tip anyway. However, I find it incredibly rude when somebody gestures that they wanted a tip. So they took my bags, we were walking into the hotel, and then he tapped me on the shoulder, and then he made the money sign. And I tipped him, but I also let him know that I didn't appreciate it. I said, you know what, I was going to tip you anyway, but I would not do that to another person if I were you, because not everybody's nice like me, and they will tell you to pound sand. You know, take your rudeness elsewhere. I paid that man $10 to take my bags 20 feet from the doors to check-in. There's really, yes, tip, but to do that, tap me on the shoulder, and then make that money sign was incredibly rude. And wow, really? You really do that to somebody? I thought that was just, and that was our first impression, because we just got off of the limo, and he was the first person we saw from the property. And it really just went downhill with a lot of the quality of service there. We had problems with the toilet not working in our room. You guys will have heard me talk about this in one of my Las Vegas journey episodes. It would not flush. No matter what we did, it wouldn't flush. We called the concierge. We let them know that the toilet wasn't working. They said they would be up in an hour. So we waited, an hour and a half, 2 hours went by, still nothing. Called them again, and they were shocked. They were like, oh my God, somebody should have been there long ago. Okay, we'll make sure to have somebody up right away. So we waited another hour. Nobody showed up. We had to go downstairs in the public area and use the restrooms there. We waited overnight to the very next morning. Nobody showed up, so we called the desk again. And again, they seemed like they were shocked that nobody had went up. They said, okay, I'm going to make sure that somebody's on their way right now. I'm going to call someone as soon as I'm off the phone with you. I said, great, appreciate it. So what we decided to do was we told them that we were going to go for breakfast and, go maybe to the casino, and we'd be back up in the room in a couple hours. We did all that. We come back up, still not fixed. I had to take it upon myself to fix the toilet, and nobody from our knowledge ever came to the room to see if the toilet was okay. So, I mean, that's terrible. You know what I mean? I still managed to give them a 3 because I was contacted by somebody named Brandon after we had came back home, and he really went above and beyond. We left the Bellagio, I right around an $800 bill, and he cleared that. He wiped it clean, and he also offered us 2 nights in a suite, a Bellagio suite, whenever we go back to Vegas, absolutely on the house, no resort fee or anything. So, that's fantastic. He knew about my channel on YouTube. I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it. My voice can carry, and if I tell 100 people and they tell 2 people, you understand how word of mouth works. And I'm wondering if that may have had anything to do with his decision to be so generous with the compensation for our problems. And but either way, he was still nice enough to do it, and that's why they got a 3, which is above average. I wish it would have been better, but it could have been a heck of a lot worse. So a 3 there. Number 6, entertainment. You're in Vegas. My gosh, there's entertainment everywhere, and the competition is vast. There's so many shows. You could go to a show every day for a month and not even scratch the surface in terms of entertainment and shows and stuff that you can do in Vegas. I can tell you that I'm slightly disappointed with the Bellagio in that regard. This is a huge property. Okay, this is one of Steve Wynn's brainchilds. The property is just astonishingly huge. But they don't have much in terms of entertainment. I mean, they have the Bellagio fountains, but you really don't have to stay at Bellagio to take advantage of that. As with the conservatory, these are things that anyone off the property can come in and do, as with any entertainment, I suppose. But I'm really looking at big entertainment. They have there by Cirque De Soleil. Fantastic. Cirque Du Soleil shows are amazing. Is one of the best. They have the Bellagio Gallery of Fine Arts, and they have the pool. Now, there's other properties that offer so much more than that. A property like Bellagio could have another 3 shows added to their roster and still have room for others. I'm sure of it. When you look at tiny little properties like the D, that have many different shows going on. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head. I want to say Marriage Can Be Murder, Laughternoon, Caveman, and there's some other stuff too. I can't imagine how a little property could pull it off, but Bellagio can't. And again, it's not just the entertainment, it's the price, the value for this entertainment. Obviously the fountains, the conservatories, all free. Cirque Du Soleil, on the other hand, you're going to pay big money for your tickets. You're going to pay anywhere from, for the worst seats, around $100 a ticket. So, I mean, hey, that's steep. The pool, you got to be a member to get into that pool, or you pay some money. Again, so I think that Bellagio, being what it is, as big as it is and as famous as it is, you would like to think that it would offer a little bit more in terms of this entertainment category. It got a 3. Again, which is above average. I'd say that because of the freebies, like the fountains and the conservatory. They really go a long way. And I do highly recommend everybody that goes to Vegas to check out both. I mean, if you go to Las Vegas and not check out the Bellagio fountains, you're doing it wrong. The conservatory is, 5 minutes away from the fountains, and it's free. But yeah, the freebies really helped it out there. The lack of variety hurt it. Number 7, overall value of the resort itself. So what are you going to get for your money? What's your experience going to be? Is it worth it to stay there as opposed to another property? I look at a lot of different things here. One is the resort fee. A lot of people hate these resort fees, and now that they're charging for parking too. Vegas is starting to become not Las Vegas at all. It's getting worse and worse and worse. They're really trying to nickel and dime people, and it forces you to play the slot machines to try and get comped. But in the end, it's probably cheaper to pay all this stuff than lose on the slot machines. Bellagio is right up there for some of the most expensive resort fees. You're talking $35 a night, guys, for a resort fee. And again, if you're not playing on the slot machines, you're not going to get this money back. You can request, and sometimes it does work, that they comp it even if you play a little bit of slot machines. But if you don't play at all, don't bank on it. They're not going to comp these resort fees, guys, and they're expensive. If you're there for 5 days at $35 a day, do the math. That's a lot of money. In addition to that, these deposits that they hold. So when you check in, let's say a 5-day stay, the Bellagio is going to charge you $130 per night on your credit card. And you want to make sure to put that on your credit card because you're going to want your cash for doing stuff in Vegas. This deposit will be returned to your credit card upon checkout. But again, you still have to budget this. If you don't budget it, you can have major problems. You don't want to hear the horror stories that I've heard people tell me in regards to these fees that they had no idea about. So let's say you go to any resort on the Strip, and you're there with a $2,000 budget, and you have that strictly budgeted certain amount for casino gaming, for dining, for shopping, for travel costs, stuff like that. But you get to check in and you find out that you have to pay $130 deposit for each day and $35 resort fee. That's half your budget gone. What are you going to do? You're going to be sitting in your room twiddling your thumbs. You've just lost half of your budget on fees that they're not overly upfront with. So I take that into consideration with overall value. The average cost of a Bellagio room. So this is an average cost. The average cost is $201.27 per night to stay in their rooms. Wow, that is way overpriced for the room that we had. Now, there are deals that come up in the off-season, especially in middle of the week, on websites like Vegas.com, LasVegas.com, Viator.com. We've seen Bellagio rooms as low as $39 a night. That's before your resort fee. So you're going to take that $39, add $35 to it, then you're at $74 a night, okay? Not to mention that $130 hold. Eey. Oh my gosh. Okay, now you can see, even during the cheapest times, it's still quite expensive. For the room that we had, the normal rate can vary between $129 to $299. So you're talking normal rate during a normal time, and when things are busy in Vegas on a weekend, it'll be at the more expensive end. This is way too much money for the room that we had. What are they thinking? You got to be off your rocker to charge that kind of money for that kind of room. For that kind of money, you need to be getting a nicer room with more freebies. That's just how it goes. There's too much competition in Las Vegas to be offering that kind of value for that kind of money. For just $20 more, you can head over to the Cosmo, be all the way up on the 69th floor with a Bellagio fountain view, with a much nicer room and a more elegant property. Okay, and you guys know I've had problems with Cosmo, and I'm still telling you that the rooms are nicer there for the money as opposed to Bellagio. Bellagio is just horrible in that regard. Now, maybe you want to spend an extra $100 and get a suite. That might be worth it. Again, you're still going to pay those resort fees. You're still going to pay that deposit. Actually, the deposit might be higher the higher tier you go with your room. So you got to keep that in mind too. So you really don't get a nice room for the money. It's hugely disappointing when you think of Bellagio and how famous it is, and then you end up in a room like that and you're like, wow, it's kind of like Best Western-y, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's really nothing special about the Bellagio rooms, guys. But again, I look at the value in terms of where you are. You're in the heart of the Strip. You're paying a little premium for that, being in the heart of the Strip means you're going to spend a little more, but not necessarily. You do have places like Harrah's, which are just north of the center of the Strip in the heart, and then Casino Royale, which are, you can get rooms for free if you spend 20 bucks in the casino, you know. But Bellagio is a step above that, you know what I mean? And you are right in the heart, and it is, you're paying a little bit more for the name, and you know, that their casino is beautiful. It is one of the biggest you're going to find, in my opinion. MGM, Grand, Mirage, and Bellagio are the 3 biggest casinos in Las Vegas, so you do got to get that variety. You're going to get that romantic, beautiful atmosphere that the casino offers, that amazing pool. They do have a great pool there. All those dining options, the location, the entertainment. They have a mall there too at Bellagio, although it's nowhere near what you're going to find over at the Forum Shops or Fashion Show or Miracle Mile or even the outlet malls. The Bellagio Mall is actually quite small, and really nothing special there either. But I gave the overall value a 3, again, which is above average, guys. And when you add it all up with all the categories, the Bellagio gets a 3.85. We'll call it a 4, which is a great rating. I highly recommend going to Bellagio after saying all that I've said. I think that for the money, in the end, where you are, all of the stuff that I talked about is a highly recommendable place, and I can't wait to go back to Bellagio. I think that the casino and the location are probably going to be its finer points, along with the dining and that pool. Places like the Cosmopolitan and the D really don't have the pools that the Bellagio have, and the casino is so vast. Like I said, Cosmo, D, they can't touch the Bellagio in that regard either. The property just has so much to offer. I have so many great memories of the Bellagio, and I think that if you go to Las Vegas and you choose the Bellagio, I think you will be happy, providing you keep all of these points in mind, and that you are not going to be upset with these, you know, hidden fees. They're not really hidden, they're just not overly open about them. And you know, if you keep in mind that your room is not going to be the best, but you have a lot of other stuff that's very much redeeming on the property, you will be a happy returning customer to Bellagio. So there you go, guys. There's my review on the Bellagio. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. My next hotel review is going to be on the Cosmopolitan, and I'm really going to sit down and really think about it and give an honest approach to the Cosmopolitan. I feel like enough time has went by where I'm not salty at all. I don't hold grudges. I don't forget, obviously, but I think I'm in that mindset where I can really offer an honest review on the Cosmopolitan. So I have that to look forward to. Like I said, I'm going to be back on the road tomorrow for another 4 days. Then I'm going to be returning home again. I'm going to try and nail a Las Vegas Journeys episode and see if I can maybe get that Cosmopolitan review on the channel as well. Hopefully I can do them all. A video like this will take me almost all day to film and edit, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you check out the Bellagio. Take care out there, and I'll see you guys in the next movie.